Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. Well, all kind of weird friggin' updates on my streaming software, so it gave me a little bit of a delay getting started here. Thanks a whole lot, slobs. So, as the title suggests, you'll play around with teleports. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new level, VR Basic, grab my ball and cubes and pyramid and delete. Grab you and just throw you underground so I don't have to look at your ass. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder called Map Shitola. And you can't see that, but you know, World Outliner. Go ahead and make yourself a map folder. Why you did that, I have no clue. What's happening? So we'll hit F and zoom back in on our player. And let's go ahead and move him into the corner. So he's just tucked away. Set my game mode to third person game mode. Jump in and here we go. Lovely. Amazing. We can do things. Alright, so teleports. Very simple. Very simple. I'm going to go ahead and save all and put this in my maps folder. We're going to call this our test map. Now, the main thing of a teleport is to get you from point A to point B. And there's a couple ways you can do that. And yeah, it's useful and simple in a bunch of different ways. You know, the basic format, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder in my assets folder called gadgets. Trying to get my ass centered on the freaking camera here, and everything is not cooperating. So we'll go in there, and that's no problem. Emitters are easy enough as well. What I'm going to do is, so I can have some emitters here and some sounds to work with, I'm going to add feature a content pack. This is just a blank project that I put together just for doing the stream. So I'm going to add starter content. I'm not going to use much of it, but it'll give me a starting point to work with. Alka-Seltzer cold formula. And Orange Crush, by the way. Alright, so with that, what I want to do in my gadgets is I'm going to create a blueprint. I'm going to make a simple teleport. And that's just going to be a visible teleport pad. And the first thing I want to do is add a component. And I'm going to add a cube. And I'm just going to change the Z height to 0.1. Make it a little small thing right there. And I'm going to add another component, which is going to be a box collision. And I'll resize it really quickly. Yep, that's no problem. Slow your roll, you. Going to do multiple different ways of doing teleports here. Okay. So this particular type is an actual teleport pad that I'm going to do. And in this is just the start of a couple different ways of doing teleports. So I'm going to show a couple different things here. This is the most common use. On component begin overlaps all we really need. And I'm going to player underscore, and that's going to give me my player underscore base, which is my player character. So only when the player character steps on this pad, it's going to go somewhere. Because this is good enough. All I needed to do was just, I didn't even have to resize it. I just wanted to make it, you know, similar to the size of the box. That was quite simple and fast. So I get the player. As soon as they step on it, we're going to move it to a new location. but we don't have a new location to go to. So let's go ahead and, again, you can just, if you want to find out a location, I want my player to teleport to right there. Short term, you can drop an empty actor or anything into the scene and get your coordinates there. So if that's what you're wanting to do, like if you wanted to go to 000 location, then you could do that as well, which that's what I'm going to do for this one for now, just to keep it simple. So with that, we want to set actor location, and we can do set actor location. If you want to set the rotation as well, you could, but the target is going to be whoever steps on it. And new location. For right now, I'm going to leave it at 000 for the location, just so I can make it go somewhere. So here's our player over here. We'll grab our teleport base, drop it in the map, walk over here, we step on it, and it throws us to 000. That's the simplest form of a teleport, is it's just moving your location to that. So another way you can do that is to make it a little bit more, it's just, that was the fastest way of doing it. Adding a particle effect. So for right now, let's add a explosion effect to when we actually do this, so that it actually looks like something. And then we'll also do an audio component of explosion cue. Not the greatest in the world, but it's going to get the point across. So we want this to happen right before we actually throw our character around. So I'm just going to drag that out, make a little bit of room, and we're going to play sound at location. Yeah, and that's the thing, is you create your sounds and your effects prior to actually moving your character. And I'm actually going to get the location of the cube, because I want this to happen there. Get world location, and this is where the sound and the emitter is going to spawn. So from here, I just want to spawn emitter at location. I don't really want it to spawn on the character. I just want it to spawn at the location of the pad. And then I'm going to over exaggerate, and I'm going to put delay in of a full second, just to over exaggerate the effect here. So what's going to happen now is when we step on it, we're going to have we got to select the emitter explosion. So we're going to get the emitter and the sound, and then we're going to teleport. So that's all you got to do, is just delay it, and it'll get the and you're done. So that's super simple. Instead, if you're setting up a teleport to go somewhere in your map and you don't know where you want it to go to, okay, that's our starting point there. I want my end point to be over here, so I'm just going to grab. It doesn't matter what you drop in there. You're just trying to get a location. So let's round this to 900 and 900. So that looks, okay, whatever. That's where we want to go. In fact, actually, let's go ahead and make this. And just for, whatever. You can see that we have, let's try that again at 900, 900, and 400. Now, one thing to remember is, you can see where this pivot point is. It's below the surface. Our spawn point needs to be above that. So if we put it at 900, 900, 400, well, let's do that. Just to show you the effect of what happens. 900, 900, and 400. It's not going to like it, because you're teleporting into an object. It will sometimes throw you up there, but some static meshes won't like it. So you could always just raise that up by 100, make that 500 to ensure that your character is up there good. There we go. See, he kind of dropped down just a hair, but he's there on it. So that's cool, right? Now, the next way to do it is, I've already got my character set up to use a, sort of a first-person camera here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do my little cheesy crosshairs, so bear with me. We'll do widget, and I'm going to user interface widget blueprint, and we'll call this our crosshair underscore W. This is probably one of the cheesiest, easiest ways to create it, and I'm just going to do it at 1, 0, and 0, and save my color. Set my size to 50 by 5. Anchor it to the center of the screen. Change this to -25 by -2.5. And that's put the vertical portion of it perfectly in the center of our screen. Grab another image and do the reverse here. We'll do it 5 by 50. Change our anchor to center and change this to -2.5 and -25. And there. But we want to go ahead and change the color. So we'll click here, and done. Don't need our teleport base right now. Let's go into our character blueprints, and let's create a variable. Use crosshair so that we've got it in there, and we'll go to our graph, and again, this is down and dirty. We're going to do cast to, well, I know mine's called player underscore, so I can just do that and get my cast to node, and I'm get player character reference here. Get use crosshair, and we'll get a branch. Connect that, and if it is false, then remove from parent. That's going to destroy the widget whenever we don't need our crosshair. This is just a cheesy way of getting rid of it. So that's done, and in here, in my view change thing, I'm going to go ahead and create a custom event. Not that I really need to, but we're going to have crosshair on, and we're going to create a widget. That widget is going to be our crosshair. Get player controller. We want to add to viewport, and what else? Let's bring in our set node for these guys, and we do it this way, we're using crosshair. We do it this way, we're not using crosshair. And then we'll do crosshair on. I could have done all of this into its own custom event, but yeah, whatever. Alright, so when I go into this mode, now I've got a crosshair. I have an aiming point, in other words. It's going to give me something that's going to be dead center in the center of my screen, and that's lovely. Amazing. Super awesome. Alright, don't need you. Let's put you up here out of the way. And whatever, I'll just put you in there. So, what I want to do is I want to get the location of where I'm looking. So as I'm running around here, I go to this mode and I want to get a location from where I left click my mouse button. wherever I'm facing, and I left click. Wherever that crosshair is going to be my new location to teleport to. So let's do left mouse button, and any guesses what I'm going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What is it? Come on. Come on. Tell me. Come on. Okay, you're not fast enough. Come on. What's the node I'm getting ready to put down? Yeah, line trace by channel. Okay, you guys weren't fast enough. All right, so so what this is going to do is this is going to fire off a laser. So I need to know where it's going to start from and where it's going to end. And let's see if dyslexia wins out over this. Let's get a reference to my... Well, you got this right here, the FPS camera. And I'm going to utilize the FPS camera as my location. So, what I'll do here is I will get world location, and I'll plug that in as my start location. That's where my laser beams are going to start from. And I'm going to go ahead and change draw debug type to for duration, and that way we can see it for a couple seconds. Now the next thing I'm going to want from this guy is get forward vector. Alright, and then we're going to multiply this by a float, and the distance that it will go I'm going to set to 1,000, keep it kind of short. Yeah, I'm referencing my camera because it's right there in between my eyeballs. So this float right here, forward vector times float, is going to give me the distance away from my camera of which this line trace is going to work. If I want it to be farther, I can set it to be a larger number. But I'm going to keep it short for right now just so I can minimize my teleport distance. Then I'm going to do this right here, which I'm going to do a vector plus vector, and I'm going to add this number to this number, and that's going to be my end location. Well, then you did it right. See, you're awesome. That's all you got to do for a simple line trace. I'm doing line trace by channel. It's going to work for what I need it for. You don't have to overcomplicate things. We're not doing any kind of replication right now, so let's go in here, and now it's going to work no matter what. And we don't want it to work in this mode right here because it's not going to give us an accurate reading. So what we need to do is, well, we know that our crosshair is on, so let's actually throw in a branch and use crosshair. So if crosshair is on, now it only fires when we're in this mode. So now what I want to do is let's go ahead and just let's feed a coordinate, or let's get a coordinate out of this. So from English, well, you can set it to wherever you want. 8,000 is a pretty fair distance away. I'm going to get break hit results right here. And with mine set at 1,000, if you notice, it doesn't go all the way across the map. It only goes 1,000 units. If I wanted to go a little bit farther, then I can change that number to 2,500. You know, just expand it out a little bit here and there. So on this right here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to print text. And I'm going to get my location and plug it in here. It's going to automatically give me a conversion node. So what it's going to do now is it's just going to report back what the location is giving me. So if I hit that, you can see it's giving me my X, Y, and Z location. Awesome, right? So let's dump those out of here. And it's like we did with the teleport pad. We can do is set actor location and plug that guy in there and get our impact point or location. I'm going to use impact point. It's the same thing. I'm not clicking any of these things right here. It's already set to self, but you know what? It never hurts to go ahead and get another reference to self. So let's see what happens now. Come over here and I click on the location, and now you can see that's where my line trace went to, so that's where I teleported to. So if you wanted to, you could add sound effects in here like we did before, and you know, what do you need to use anything else for if it works? Is this not working? Click that, and there we go. I set my actor location. There, I did it. It works. Why you got to complicate things? So I clicked on a wall and kind of do that, but it's working, right? So that's how we can do this way. So this is where we're aiming. It's going to, bam, it's going to set my location to where that is. And like I said, if you want to add your particle effects and sounds and everything, you can do that as well. I'm going to break this, and we're going to do something different now. So now my teleporter is broken. So you can see, yeah, because I've gotten errors with using teleport and with sweep. I've had problems with it in the past. So by leaving it unchecked, it just seems to work. So yeah, it just works. It works better, let's put it that way. So I'm going to go to gadgets, and I'm going to create a new actor. That's going to be a TP projectile. And no, not a toilet paper projectile, but yeah, I don't use any of that. What you saw is what I use, and it works perfect every time. So if it works, why change it, right? So I want a projectile. I'm going to shoot a projectile out, and where that projectile stops is where I'm going to teleport to. I'm moving a little too quick. We're not 25 minutes in, and this is not going to take very long to do. I'm going to get a cylinder, and I'm going to make this 0.1, and we'll do 0.25 by 0.25. And actually, let's make it 0.4, 0.4. So we got a little hockey puck we can throw. Snapping to 5. Come on. Thank you. So I almost know how I'm going to do this. I'm not 100%, but I'm almost there. I want to go ahead and add in projectile movement. I'm going to break this down in a couple different segments so I can figure out what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So we're going to do 1,000 and 1,000, and that should be good enough. And I'm going to throw that up there as my default scene route. So now, wherever this is my projectile. So if I do tell it to bounce, then it should be okay. So I'm going to close that for the time being. And I'm going to go back into my player. Now, I'm going to grab this left mouse button again, and I'm going to recycle it for our new thing here. So what I want to do is, I'm going to add a spawn point for it to come out of, just so I have something here. So I'm going to add a component, and we'll do an arrow component, even though we technically already have one. And we're going to do this our spawner. No, settle down, Beavis. We'll get there. I covered doing a particle effect on the teleport pad earlier, but so we're just gonna have this spawn from roughly right there. If I wanted to, I could make it spawn and attach this. Change this back to 0, 0, and 0. Attach this to the FPS cam and uncheck real time. And why it put it there, I don't know. But go 0, 0, and 0. And I'm just going to move this out just a hair. I don't know why when I'm doing this, it's changing other coordinates too. So let's do 15, 0, and 0. So you'll quit being a pain in my ass. Then we can go back into here. Well, turn real time back on. Not that it matters, but. So we're going to spawn actor from class. And the actor we're going to use is going to be the TP projectile. Spawn transform. So I'm going to go ahead and get my spawner. And I'm going to get world transform. Plug that in here. So we're going to be launching this like we're shooting a projectile. I'm not worried about adding in animations and all that stuff right now. This is just getting this there. At some point, this is going to be even more, I can't think of the correct word, prevalent. So I'm going to get a reference to self on both here. So this is where it's going to spawn from. And again, I'm going to want to do, okay, see, it didn't change the scale. So I'm going to have to go back in here and change the scale. But because, I told the projectile to be a certain scale, it ignored that scale completely. So you can see it just spawns the damn thing out. It's bouncing, that's nice. But that's not what I wanted to use. It's not the right scale. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just make my own shit. I'm going to grab a sphere and I'm going to do the same sizing that I did before, 0.4, 0.4, and 0.1, because I want my freaking projectile to be what I told it to be for the scale. So I'm just going to go ahead and make my own shit and be done with it. So this is going to be my hockey puck. This is going to be it. And change the material so that I know that this is my thing here. And I want it to be chrome. Screw it, let's make it gold. And I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to convert cylinder to static mesh. Go to my assets, mesh folder, TP underscore, what I call this, puck. Good enough. So this guy can now go away. And I'm going to go back to my gadgets, TP projectile, and go to my mesh folder. Did you not remember your frickin' scale? What in the immortal fuck? Unreal Engine, do you really hate me this much? I mean, seriously. And let's see, because I've already made this the root, I'm going to have to... Yeah, I'm just going to remake this. We'll do this. We'll do none. We'll let this be broken. Actually, undo. To close you down. We're gonna have some errors here. But why the hell did it not retain my frickin' size? You close too. Okay. Open up the puck, and it is full size again. I scaled it to a specific size and told it to be a certain thing. Let's try it again, and I'm going to actually this time use a BSB geometry. And we'll do this, change that to 12. Z is going to be 20. Screw it, let's make it 15. Shit, let's make it even 10. Outer radius will be 25. And yeah, that's good enough. I'm not going to get crazy on making some I'm just going to frickin' delete later on. So we'll click on one face, select all adjacent, and click on a material. I want to use gold. Click there. We're good. So now we have our little thing here. It's called a cylinder brush. Let's go to my mesh folder. I've already deleted the old one. So with this, now I've got it selected. Go to brush settings. Open that up. Create static mesh. And assets mesh TP underscore puck. Puck. P-U-C-K. Mine's out of the gutter, people. Create static mesh. And there we go. Now, if I throw one into the map, there we go. Lovely. Now we can get back to what we're doing before we're really interrupted by Unreal Engine 4 being, well, UE4. So, gadgets. TP projectile. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it and remake it. I didn't have much in there. Force delete, and we'll do blueprint, actor, teleport projectile, go in here, add a component. Let's actually go to our mesh folder, select our component, add component, there we go. Add component, projectile, movement. So we know that that's correct. Let's dump that as the default scene route. Projectile movement, we'll change this back to 1,000 by 1,000 and should bounce to yes. Compile and save. And now we can go back to our player where it didn't like the fact that we removed that. So teleport projectile, that's good. And of course, we want this to only work when we are in our first person mode. So we'll get use crosshair, plug that in here. And yes, I have to make sure everything is neat. So now we go in here and we go into our first person mode, and okay, the actual thing itself does not have any collisions. So let's go in here and go to collisions. And if we look here, simple collisions, there are none. And we can just simply do add box simplified collision. That's going to be good enough. And save. Now we have a basic collision on that mesh. So in theory, it bounces across the ground and stops there. It's at an angle. And here's where you run into a little bit of issues, as if you try to give the projectile physics at this point. There's our puck. Come back over here and simulation collisions. No, physics. Simulate physics and compile and save. Boom. It for some reason just acts stupid. You know, don't ask me why it's doing that. It just let's look at the mass. Let's make it 25. Well, and see, it's weird where it's going. It's not really consistent. But you know what? I'm okay with that. We'll leave it the way it is, and I'll just bump this up to 2500 on that. And what I want to do also is, so that I don't have 500 of these bastards laying around, set lifespan. And we'll make that, for right now, let's do 5 seconds. I'm going to change that. Just wanted to kind of give it an example. So we do it, we throw it, it bounces, and within a few seconds, it will go away. So we got a hockey puck we can throw out, which is our teleport location, and it's just going to report back of this is where we're going to teleport to. So let's see what we can do. We need to come back. We needed to report back its final location. So in projectile movement, if you look right here, you've got on projectile bounce, on projectile stop. So you have events here. So let's try right click on it, add event, on projectile stop, or on projectile on component deactivated. So let's try on stop. When it stops bouncing, this is where we want to do something. So what I'll do for right now is we wanted to report back our location. We get spawn decal location. That's a fun little thing here. Got last known location. No, that ain't gonna help. Let's see here. Impact result. You see, I've never tried this before, so I make shit up as I go along, and we'll see how it works. So get world location from it then. And just because it's not going to look neat enough for my ass and my OCD-ness, I am going to create a variable, and let's promote to variable right here, and we'll actually call that variable. We don't need the other one that I started making. Call this our puck location. And just because I want to know what it is, print text and link these two together. Let's see if it'll print it onto the screen what the location is. So it bounces, it stops, and it didn't do anything. It's not printing. It's setting its location, and it should be printing it now. So why is it not printing my location? I don't know why you're sending me stuff on Discord whenever I'm trying to stream. So let's actually try front projectile movement on component deactivated. Let's move this crapola down. Move this in here. Try it from that. I just wanted to report back. Okay. Well, let's see. When it goes away, it didn't print that information. All right, so let's see here. On component deactivated, component get world. Well, see, I know that I want it to go off of the on projectile stop. Impact results, break hit results, and let's get the location this way. So we'll print text from this, and then we will do location, plug that in here, and so we're just wanting it to report back its location when it actually stops. And it's not printing it to the screen, which it should be. So let's try something here. Even though it's not reporting back that information like I'm telling it to, let's get a reference to my character. Get player character, and let's go ahead and set actor location to we'll try a couple different variations of this. See, I'm still here. Why am I still here? Okay, that didn't work. Well, we know the other way was working just fine, but I still want to have a throwable or a launchable teleport location. And to me, this should be working on projectile movement, on projectile stop. It should be getting that location. Wherever it stops, the impact result, impact point, okay, no matter what, that should have been a thing. Oh, well. See, this is why, to me, this is actually entertaining. Let's see, on deactivated, on component deactivated, the component itself should be the puck. See, the component, there is no reference to that component that way. Alright, so let's try it from on component deactivated as the puck itself. But there's still no physical way of getting the location. Yeah, there is no... There's set world locations or enactor locations, but there's no reference from that. So on the deactivation of that, you would think on projectile balance. This is not what I want, but let's go ahead and get impact velocity by vector. Get world location. And from there, let's go ahead and set that information. May not be necessary at this point, but we can also cast to our player. And let's set actor location to this location. And again, not working. So yeah, any concepts of having a short video is not going to be a thing. So, oh, of course, you had to be on your side. The whole point of having this was there was an item that I saw in a particular game that was a teleport. You shot the thing out there, and where it landed, it and then poof, teleported you. So if you wanted to get to a sniper location, you could sit there and try to get it to land in a certain location. And wherever it landed, is where you could either, at this point, if you like the location of where it landed, you could right click and then it would teleport you to that location. So let's try this a different method here. Alright, so events begin play, and we've set our lifespan. That's okay. It's 5 seconds, so delay for 4 seconds. And then let's get a reference to our puck. Get our world location of the puck at that point. And I'm just going to go ahead and set that variable. Whether or not I need it or not, it's going to be there. Let's actually go into our player character and let's add a variable. TP puck location, and I'm going to make that into a vector. So now we can go back over here and do our cast to our player. I'll probably come up with a half dozen other ways of doing this when I'm not actually streaming. And that's the fun part. From there, let's try a puck. Set TP puck location. From that, we will get this location, and we'll store that variable there. So when we do our left mouse button, we will delay. I'm just grasping at straws, trying to get get this data. We'll wait 6 seconds, and then we can print string, print text, all the same. Get that, and then manually plug it in there. Why you can't just plug it straight in and it give you this node, don't know. I just wanted to print that location. So when we shoot it out there, it should get the location, should set a variable, and then there we go. We got the information that time. So shoot the puck out, and it stops, and then it reports back that location. So let's actually change our timing on it, and we'll change that to 3 seconds. Let's see what that looks like. And our player base, delay 3. May not be perfect on my timing, but after 3 seconds it should report back, and it gave me the wrong information. So wasn't quite enough time. 3.1. So we wanted to go out there and store the information, and there it is. We got the information we needed. So what I'll do now is let's see here. Let's create another variable. Shits and grins. So we don't need this information now, but let's go ahead and set puck launched. There will be a whole lot of other secondary and third shit going on. To right mouse button, I want to press it, and I want to set set actor location to this guy. But we need to put in between there so there's going to be a lot of other conditions and checks ahead of time that you're going to need to do before, to make this to where it's not abusable. So we just need to confirm that we launched a puck. And use that location. And after that, I'm going to set puck launch to false, so we no longer have that data in there. That may or may not accomplish what I want, but we'll see. So now, go into our mode. We launch our super duper cool tool. It goes out there, and then I should be able to right click and teleport to that. Well, let's go ahead and put in a reference to self here as well, just to make sure. And that's our location. So when we click, okay, yeah, it helps when you actually put a check in a box. Yeah, dumbass. Okay, so now we do this, and we're going to launch a puck out. Now, where it's landed, as soon as it vanishes, I know that it's good enough. I can right click and now teleport to where the puck was. It won't let me teleport until it's actually calculated that it's stopped. So therefore, it just teleported me into the ground. So that's where we're going to have a problem. So that's where we're doing the actual location. We're going to have to make an amendment to it. So let's grab that, and we will do vector plus vector. Let's break this line, and we're going to add 100 to that location. And that will be our new location. So we know that we're going to teleport 100 above that location. So we want to ensure that we cannot teleport right now because we don't have a puck out. So we now have one out, and where it stops, now we can right click and we're there. We can launch a puck, it stops, and now we can teleport to it. Launch a puck, where it lands, teleport to it. But now we can't continue to teleport because we don't have a puck launched. We have not thrown a puck out. It just says basically I don't give a puck at that point. I missed. Where the hell are you going? Oh, no, I don't want that one. Yay, and we're dead. Okay, so there's some fail safes we'll have to come up with to fix that, but at least now we have a throwable teleport location. Throw it out there where it stops. Now we can teleport. Oh, we can teleport with this one still too. Yay. So now we can teleport by throwing that out there and by right clicking. Now here's another thing too, is we threw that one out. We don't like the location of that one. We know that it landed in this square. I'm going to shoot another one over here and let it do its thing. And now I can, well, let's verify. Launch one underneath the other platform. I don't want to use that one, so I'm going to launch another one over here. And there we go. So you could set up some other little small things in between, like, you know, timers and delays and manipulating your time to your location and everything else. So let's set that back to 2.8, and you know, the puck's only going to last for 5 seconds. Hell, let's change that to 4, and you can change your variables and your timing and everything else and tweak it however you want. But this is just a good, simple, basic system that I haven't tried to worry about multiplayer replication on or anything, because I just wanted to get a throwable puck that when it lands, and now I have the ability, I can right click and teleport to it. I can add particle effects, sound effects, things like that. If I don't want that one, I don't have to use it. I can wait for it to go away, and then I can shoot another one. Now, I don't want to use that one. I want to use this one. So now, once it's a couple seconds in, we could also do like this after the 2.8 seconds, so that we know that it's there. Let's go ahead and use this same information that we've got. Well, we can put it after. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. We're just setting the variable right there. So to know that we're able to use it, I'm just going to do spawn emitter at location, and the emitter, again, we'll just use the explosion one and use that location. That's the location of where it's going to work. There's scale. Let's play sound at location as well. Same location. And explosion cue. So this is just going to give us a visual and audio thing. If we were doing multiplayer application, I would definitely add sound attenuation to it as well. But let's go ahead and boom. And now it's set and ready for us to teleport there. So until it's done it, it's not going to let us teleport anywhere until it's already done that. So now that's our visual marker. We know that it's a viable teleport point. So let's also change the lifespan. We've set that to 2.8. Let's just do it at 2.5, and we'll do this at 2.8. So shortly after it goes away, boom, and it disappears. And we know it's usable. So there we go. A throwable, although terrible looking, but a throwable puck system that we can use to teleport to that location. Ah, you bastard, you fell off. Oh, there we go. Yay, and there was much rejoicing. Alrighty. We're at the 1 hour mark. Can take a break for a little bit and come back, and if you want to see more of this, maybe see about doing it in multiplayer or whatever else, then we'll investigate that, because I don't know what it'll do in multiplayer. So let's try some new pie. And we got our server here and our client here. So let's take our client, put him into that mode, and we'll do it. Let's actually throw it underneath the teleport. Ooh, I don't like that one. So right-clicking the client is not able to do it. Okay, so let's see what happens if the server tries it. You know, ah, shit. We know that works. So let's go into this mode and launch one out. And, well, we know the server works. So let's look at the client over here. Client's like, hey, you bastard, I want to do that shit. So client tries it again, and no bueno. So let's see what happens when the client steps on this teleporter. It works. And the server, there you are, you son of a bitch. We see you hiding up there. So we know that this teleporter works without anything special for replication. What happens when we teleport on top of him? Yeah, get off. Get out of here. Nobody likes you. You smell like ass. So, server works. Client just needs a little bit of replication. See, right clicked and he was not able to teleport. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll look into the idea of replicating that once come back from break. But we know that this works just fine. We go into this mode. We're going to left click, throw out a hockey puck, and that's our new teleport location. Interesting to see what happens if you are somehow able to teleport your disc over to a teleport location. You probably want to go ahead and put in a timer to prevent the player from doing that. It's going to pick one of those coordinates, you know. It's going to pick the last one. That point where it blows up is what it's going to pick. But it works. And like I said, I'll take a break, come back, and I will see if I can set it up to where it replicates. Whatever. Cool. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.